Without delving into the characters too much, because I do want to set up the backstory in just a little bit for folks who might not be familiar with what the Kentucky tragedy was. But could you tell us what happened in the early morning in November of 1825 in Frankfort, Kentucky?
Well, a young man had ridden into town the evening before. His name was Jeroboam Beecham. And he had basically, the next day, the General Assembly was convening. So the town is packed full of people. He can't find a place to stay. So he winds up in, of all places, staying with the Kentucky State Warden the night of the murder. He sneaks out, and about 11 o'clock, he hovers around the old State House, which actually was not there. It was had just burned to the ground, and the old one had not quite been built yet. But around 1 o'clock in the morning, he creeps into the side of this house that was owned by Solomon Sharp, and he was determined to kill Solomon Sharp. He knocked on the door, and when Sharp came, he did not open the door. He said, "Who is it?" And he says, he gave a name, and he says, "I'm not sure I know you." And he says, "No, it's something." So Sharp opens the door. Beecham then takes out a knife, and in his telling, it's a melodramatic story of, "I've come to avenge my wife, you sorry son of a," and stabs him in the stomach. Sharp he never says anything. It was a very serious wound, obviously. It killed him almost instantly. And he died without saying another word. So from his perspective, he just woke up, answered the door, got stabbed. His wife is right behind him, so she's looking at this, and she sees him fall to the ground and begins to scream. And before long, the entire Frankfort learns what had happened, that someone had come to the door and killed one of the most prominent politicians in all of Kentucky. A man who, by the way, was about to be, by most accounts, elected the Speaker of the House of the Kentucky Assembly the very next morning. And so this was big news that he was murdered.